Had my car accident, put on 50 kilos, stopped working, stopped trying, stopped caring, and I just didn't want to be that dude.
Over a 4-day period on night shift, I might get 13 hours sleep in 4 days, if I'm lucky.
I just want to be able to see results, and I want to be able to do really well, because I don't want to let people down either.
I have a lot of social anxieties, so doing this is a bit out of the normal for me. So
I'd really like to take them into a serious internal mental battle where they're just hating everything that happens, because I need to experience it at some point.
That pushed me completely to my physical limit.
My mentality is probably at an all-time high at the moment in terms of training for boxing.
I'm doing it for all the mums over 40.
And I'll let my hands do the talking.
I'm Barry Shepherd, and I grew up in Wollongong, which is in south of Sydney. I was that little kid that sort of got picked on every day, which is not a good thing, but I sort of have a good attitude, and education wasn't my thing. I did more sports. I'm 52 years of age. I've got 4 kids. Oldest one, which is Harrison, he goes to the fight club. And when I saw Harry fight, I thought, I'm going to do this.
I remember he asked me if he wanted to join TFC, and I was like, I'm happy for him to join. And then when I seen he was actually doing the fight night, I was like, that's very interesting. I was very excited to see him jump in and see what he can do. I think he's going to do well. I've done a couple of little things to point out, some good leg kick techniques, and hopefully he gets his chin down, hands up, and just beats the shit out of his leg. So I won.
When Barry first started fight camp, we had a few bad habits that we had to break out of him. A couple of major ones. His chin was really high in the air, and so we sort of had a few things that we worked on, and he's just progressed, and he's just followed every step along the way. He's been doing the work, he's been consistent, he's one of the hardest workers in the camp, so he's come a long way.
Physically ready, but mentally I'm nervous about it, but I'm so excited as well because I've done all the work that needs to be done, and I'm just looking forward to Saturday night.
In my opinion, the progress in the fight camp is so big because people are so concerned about the fight itself, and no one wants to go in and get beat up. So everyone puts in way more work than they normally would in a regular week of training because they're a bit nervous. They've got something that they're training for. They've got a real tangible thing in front of them that a goal they're trying to reach. And then there's also the fear of getting beat up if you didn't do enough work.
I'm Brooklyn Joseph Cash. I'm 16 years old. I grew up in Hamilton, New Zealand, and I've been doing Muay Thai for about 8 months now. It's one of my goals to be the best at the sport. I wanted to go far in the sport, in any combat sport, but mainly Muay Thai.
As soon as I saw him, I knew that he has talent. He's one of our, just from dealing with him in the last 9 weeks or whatever it's been, I believe that he's going to be one of our biggest prospects coming out of TFC soon. He's got a massive amount of natural talent, and he works as well. So
the most nervous thing is probably taking a loss, to be honest. I always wanted to win, always trying to win. But yeah, other than that, there's not really too much that affects me. Sometimes I spot my dad when we walk around the house, cheeky little hook or something, gets us going. My dad's not bad, he gets us every now and then. He's a bit of a funny one when it comes to sparring, throws the haymakers and whatnot, but it's pretty funny.
He's also got a great support network around him. His dad is very supportive. He comes down, he brings him to the morning swims in fight camp. He's always sort of there supporting him, and his younger brother Jay, who's also another one of the prospects that I see coming out of TFC is really good.
I'm Jay Joseph Cash, and I love Muay Thai because it's a combat sport and it's something different. You're basically by yourself in the ring.
How do you feel about being in front of all those people on fight night by yourself?
Well, I honestly kind of like it, like being the star of the show. And back in some other sports, I've been like that sometimes.
Is he like that at home? Does he steal your thunder?
No chance.
Okay, so you're obviously not nervous then?
No.
Not at all?
No.
How do you feel about your opponent?
Well, I feel it was a pretty good match up, to be honest. I've sparred with him a couple of times, he's pretty good.
And what's your game plan?
To stay away from his hooks and like punching combination. So like play the outside game.
And do you think training with your brother, because you two get to train together, has given you some advantage?
Yeah, it has actually. You know, being with someone that you've grown up with, it's pretty good.
Is he a good competition?
No.
My name is RENEE, OHIA. I was born in New Zealand, moved over to Australia when I was 6 years old. I come from a family of 7, a big family, so I'm the middle child. I started boxing last year, so this will be my first fight. The biggest takeaways from this camp and like everything I've learned from this camp would be that you can pretty much do anything you put your mind to. Everything in life is a mental battle, and just like probably just don't think, just do. If you know you have to do something, don't think about it, just do it, and then you'll feel so much better afterwards. I'm feeling good about getting in the ring with my opponent because I know that I've worked hard, so there's no reason why I can't get the win, even though it's not all about the win, but I believe in like my skills and how well I've progressed. So I'm feeling confident and I'm feeling excited and I'm feeling ready. But also I know that it's going to be a good fight. It's not going to be an easy fight because I know my opponent has been working just as hard, if not maybe even harder. So I'm not going in there thinking that I'm going to win, but I'm hoping for that and I believe in my ability. For my walkout song, I chose Many Men by 50 Cent. And I chose that song because we were training once actually, and it came on, and then I was like, yeah, I was like, this is the one. And even like my trainer Min, I seen him like jamming to it and stuff, like getting into it, and I was like, you know, when you just get that feeling and you're like, this is a song.
In fight camp, it's 10 weeks of your life, and that means that everything else in your life has to almost kind of like, it blurs into the background. But at the end of it, when you've completed that, everything else just is easier. It gets a whole lot easier, it gets better, you're a better performer in every other area of your life, and those are the real rewards, the rewards that come later, when you know who you are, and now you know what you're capable of and what you can work yourself around, and the capacity changes. And so in these last couple of weeks, I guess a lot of people start to get really nervous because they're about to get into the ring, and the reason for that is because this is about a total experience as a fighter. It's not about just walking into that ring, getting some training and like upskilling a bit. That's what we do every day here. Like at the fight center, that's what we do every single day. You walk in here, you learn, you upskill, and you have an opportunity at some point to get into the ring, do some sparring. It's something that you do for life. But when you come and do fight camp, you get an experience as a fighter. Like, what is fight life actually like? Having to work your entire life, having to put your relationships on the back burner, having to lose some things, having to miss out on stuff. That's what it's really like, and that's why people start to get nervous at this point in camp. So yeah, for all of the fighters that are doing fight camp, all of the contenders that are doing TFC fight camp, that are showing up at this point, that are still here, that are feeling nervous, that are having to deal with those changes and cope with that. I hope that people just understand that it's all part of the experience, and when it's all said and done, when that final bell goes, like that's when they're going to see the real rewards.